Hey guys, so a couple days ago I finally went and saw the new Pixar movie Coco. I know I'm a week late on this. I explained in my last review for Justice League. The main reason I was doing this was because of my problems with Movie Pass. If you don't know what I'm talking about or never heard of Movie Pass, let me explain. If you didn't watch my last review, I mentioned that if you don't know what Movie Pass is, it's basically a thing that you pay $10 a month and you see an unlimited amount of movies for a month. As many times, or pretty much, you could go see a movie a day if you wanted to. Basically, you can only see one a day. But anyways, I ended up having to pay for the fucking ticket to go see Justice League because my prepaid card that they give you for the Movie Pass, they use for the Movie Pass app, wouldn't work. So I had to fucking pay for it. I wasn't very happy. And I finally got it fucking I got some confirmation from them after like 5 days that like my card was okay. And then they told me, oh yeah, you can get it reimbursed, your ticket reimbursed for Justice League. I'm like, cool. All you have to do is send a picture of your ticket and you'll be reimbursed. Cool. I still have not heard a fucking word from them ever since I sent them a picture. Yeah. If you have Movie Pass, if you're thinking about getting Movie Pass, know this. Their customer service is fucking awful. It is the worst I've ever seen of any company. They don't respond to you. When they do, it's very rare and far between. And they are not very helpful when they usually do help you or finally answer you. They need to solve this problem pretty fucking quickly, or they're going to start losing customers in the droves. Luckily, I got to use it for the Movie Pass card for Coco. I got to see Coco for free, so like I said, I'm going to try to continue using it, but they need to solve their goddamn problems pretty quickly, or they're going to run out. They're going to go out of business pretty fucking quickly. Now that I've gotten off that rant, I just wanted to talk about Movie Pass real quick. Let's talk about Coco. Coco is a movie that I love Pixar. I was like, I was going to go see one way or another because I've seen all the Pixar movies up to this point. Even the bad ones. Cars 3, Talking to You. That movie fucking sucked. And I have said this over the last couple years. I've been kind of underwhelmed by Pixar. The last great Pixar movie, in my opinion, was Inside Out. And then after that, you have got nothing but shit. Good Dinosaur, Cars 3, Finding Dory, which I know some people don't agree with me on. But Finding Dory was the best out of the three, I'll say that. It just was pointless. But I was like, Coco, it seems like when Pixar does an original film, that's when they shine the most. So I was like, okay, this is where them going back to what they do best, and that's making original films and not making a sequel to something that a property that they already have. Although that's not always true too, because Good Dinosaur kind of wasn't very good, and so was Brave. Brave was better than Good Dinosaur, I'll say that. And it looked pretty cool from the previews. It looked colorful. It looked like every Pixar movie you'd ever seen, but it's like, that should be fun. And yeah, this was, you know what? Bravo, Pixar. Bravo. Because this is the step in the right direction that you guys needed. Because, by God, man, after like those, after a series of bad movies, you finally go back in the right direction and making a really good, funny, adorable, emotional kids movie like you guys usually do. Coco, this is a damn good movie. I really enjoyed it. I love the world that this movie builds. I love that it's a kind of love letter to the Mexican culture, and it kind of introduces like the Mexican culture and and their beliefs and their the stuff they celebrate, like Day of the Dead, to like a whole new audience that never know about much about this. I personally I knew about Day of the Dead, but I never knew what they believed in and everything else like that. I don't know how accurate, like if they made up anything, but usually Disney don't put their research into what they're talking about. This movie's kind of like similar to like Moana, where it's like introducing a different culture than ours to like little kids, and it's kind of cool. I think this movie's better than Moana. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but I thought this was a lot better of a film. A lot more of an enjoyable film, and not like a film I just like sat there like, ugh. So my problem with Moana was like it was just another stereotypical princess movie, even if it was like a chief's daughter or whatever. I like the little kid. I like he's basically every little kid you've seen in these animated movies. He dreams of being something bigger than what he's been destined to do. His family is a bunch of shoemakers who ban music from their family, anybody in their family from playing music, because they delve into it at the beginning, like through the backstory that his great-great-grandfather was a musician who abandoned his family, and ever since it's been passed down from generation to generation that nobody's allowed to play music in the family, and it's given a good reason and everything else. But of course he's the rebellious one who he believes he is born to be a musician, not a shoemaker, and of course his family frowns upon it, and he accidentally steals the guitar of he ends up stealing the guitar of the dead musician. What was that? Damn it! This is the problem I have. The famous dead musician in Mexico, who's like one of the greatest of all time. God, what was his name? I like this problem. What was I noticed the kid's name was Miguel. Ernesto de la Cruz. There you go. Played by Benjamin Bratt, who's this like larger than life musician who was like a Mexican Elvis, which was kind of funny. Like he would make his own movies and star in his own movies. There was this larger life person, and Miguel steals this guitar, and he ends up in the land of the dead because he did it on the Day of the Dead, and while like the dead are like visiting their family members, and because of that, he ends up in the Day of the Dead or Land of the Dead, and he has to get permission to get back to the land of the living. And he comes across like different characters, like Hector. That like the story of Hector, which was, you could see the twist of who Hector really is coming a fucking mile away. I'll say that right now. If you've seen any kids movie, you from the get-go, as soon as he pops up, you're like, okay, I know who he is. Because it's like supposed to be a mystery, because like he's a guy because during Day of the Dead, the living family members of the deceased put up pictures of their dead family members, and they put offerings out to the dead family members that come back for one day during the Day of the Dead. And if you don't put a picture up of somebody, they are not allowed to come back. And they explain that if they are forgotten, they just disappear into thin air and are forgotten forever. And it's so fucking sad. Like, and Hector is a guy who he has no family that recognizes or remembers him, and refuses to remember him. You could see it coming a mile away where it's going with it. That might be getting the spoilers, but I mean, come on, you know what's going to happen. And I liked his chemistry, the chemistry between Miguel and Hector. I thought it was really cute, funny as hell. Benjamin Bratt playing like Ernesto de la Cruz was pretty good. Like like that was a voice that was perfect for this kind of movie. One thing I'll say about this movie is that it does something that you rarely see in animated movies anymore. Last time I can remember doing something like this was like Frozen, in that like really there's not really any big name actors in this fucking thing except for Benjamin Bratt, and that's it. It's all voice actors, like trained voice actors, and that's really refreshing. That's something that you don't see anymore, and because it's usually all big all-star cast of like big names, and it's like one of those like it could be that could be really good, but also at the same time it could also be very distracting because you just hear the voice of this famous person in this character, and that's all that's all you think about. But yeah, like it was kind of refreshing to hear a lot of like voice actors. I don't know if any of these people are like famous in Mexico. Like I said, I know this movie got released like early in Mexico, which I understand. This movie's, I don't think I have to say this, but I guess why not? This is like a damn great looking film. I didn't see this in 3D. This is the first Pixar movie in a long time I haven't seen in 3D, but didn't shy away from the fact that this is a damn good looking film. Pixar can make some of the best animated films, even like the best looking animated films I've ever seen, still to this day. Even like stuff like Good Dinosaur, like the animation's stunning. And Cars 3, like Cars 3, I was sitting there mostly just watching, like sitting there looking at how amazing the animation was, and of course it's great in this. This is one of those movies. It's really good. It's like really hard to talk about, like say anything other than it's really good. I really highly recommend it. It's a really touching film. I love this. I love it's a movie that'll make you feel feelings, like always make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. It has a really great message about family, the importance of family, and like that. Like I remember going in, like the title of the movie is called Coco, and I thought the main character's name in the movie until like a couple days ago. Main character's name, the little boy whose name was Coco. No, his name is Miguel. The great grandmother he has is named Coco, and I'm like, okay, why is it called Coco instead of Miguel? There's a purpose to it, and that scene at the end is very fucking emotional with him and his grandmother, Coco. Really good. It's really effective. Like almost better than anything I've seen it as far as live action. Fucking comes to as far as live action films. Really well acted. Really emotional scene. Like Pixar, god damn it. Like they have the tendency of making some of the most emotional movies I've ever fucking seen. Like it's like heart wrenching. Some of the stuff in this movie is heart wrenching and really hard and really great to watch. It makes you, like I said, make you feel feelings. But it's also a very happy movie. It ends on a happy note. It's not like Up where it opens with a fucking one of the most depressing openings I've ever seen in my entire life, but it's still one of the most effective openings of my entire life. I highly recommend Coco. It's a fantastic movie. Definitely, it should be the shoe-in for best animated feature this year at the Oscars. I think you should just give it the fucking Oscar already. I can't name it. Somebody in the comments, tell me, what's one other great animated movie that's came out this year? I guarantee you can't name one. Not Despicable Me 3, not Despicable Me 3, not Cars 3, nothing. I can't name shit. Like, there's nothing like, this is like the standout, like the pretty much only good animated movie that came out this year, really. So yeah, props to it. Pixar's back at making good movies again. As far as should I get? Oh, before I get into trailers, let me get into one other rant. I think a lot of people know what I'm about to start talking about. I'm talking about the short that was in front of this movie. Or, if you want to fucking call it a short. I know I'm not the only one who's been bitching about this, so I'll try to just make this short. What the fuck was that? If you don't know, usually, if you've seen Pixar movies over the last few years, or over the last 10 years, ever since they've started making movies, they usually put an animated short in front of their movies, right? It's usually about 5 minutes long. It's never really overstays its welcome, and usually they're pretty adorable and pretty cute. Sometimes not that great, but sometimes, most of the time, they're really good. Well, Disney apparently decided, fuck you, to its consumers and said, you will like what we want you to like. Because we get in front of this, I knew going in that there was a Frozen short in front of us. I'm like, okay, that's cool, fine, whatever. That's fine. Like I said, I know some people are annoyed by Frozen. I am one of those people. I'm over it. Yeah, I'm over it too, but I was like, whatever, fine. If it's nice, short, and sweet, that's fine. 20 fucking minutes long. I sat for 15 minutes of previews. I timed this. 15 minutes previews, and then a 20-minute Frozen short. Movie didn't fucking start until 37 minutes after it was supposed to fucking start. That is fucking ridiculous. That is, like, okay, here's my problem with this short. I don't know what everybody's saying about this. I really haven't. But I completely agree with, like, everybody complaining about it. Because what this felt like is that, those TV animated specials that we usually get, like with Madagascar and Shrek, that's like a Christmas special that they always play, like on ABC or something like that. This is what this fucking was. And this is what it should have been. If this would have been on TV, it would have been fine. I guarantee you nobody would have bitched about it. But this was in front of a feature-length movie that's already an hour and 50 fucking minutes. Are you fucking kidding me? Who decided this? Whoever in Disney decided this should be fired. Like, this was the dumbest idea I've heard. Like, I feel like when I was watching the beginning of Coco, I was like, kind of like, okay, not too much into it, but I'm like, I think it has to do half with it. Mostly it has to do with the fact that I was just like so annoyed that like I had to sit for a 20-minute short for no fucking reason other than just to promote Frozen 2, I guess. It's a Frozen Christmas special that didn't even, first off, be 20 minutes long. It just had a bunch of songs on there that was pointless, and nobody's going to remember if in a day's time. I can't remember any of them. It's God, this Frozen thing is like, that was ridiculous. There was no reason for it. Like I said, if it would have been on TV, it would have been fine. But in front of a feature-length film, fuck you. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm almost 20 minutes in here, so I want to get, as far as previews go, what the hell did I get in front of us? Incredibles 2, I was a fan of I was a fan of the first one. I don't love the first one as much as a lot of people do, but I liked the first one enough. I was like, alright, we're making a sequel to this. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to the sequel. I know a hell lot of people are looking forward to the sequel. I'm like, well, I am, but also the latest string of Pixar sequels has not been very good, so maybe this will be different. Still got Brad Bird involved, so cool. As long as he doesn't like end up being accused of fucking molesting women or something like that. I'm sure anymore I have no fucking idea who's gonna be the next person to do. I could go on a whole rant about that for that could be a whole nother video. But yeah, like I said, Incredibles 2, like I said, it was a cute little teaser trailer about with the baby. I liked it. It was pretty funny. It was like a great reintroduction to the characters, especially the dad and the baby. I was like, that should be fine. I hope it's good. A Wrinkle in Time. I have no idea much about the source material. It was a trailer. That's all I can really say. It's a movie about Chris Pine as a guy who's an astrophysicist that travels across time and planets or something. And Oprah Winfrey and Reese Witherspoon are in it. That's all I really got out of that. I don't know much about the source material. I was like, is that based off something? Because I know that I've heard that title before, and I had to look it up. You're like, yeah, it is based off some book. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I really have no opinion on it. And then also Paddington 2. I remember liking the Paddington Bear books when I was little. I never saw the first Paddington. I heard it was pretty good. I heard the early reviews for this have been pretty good, too. I didn't even know this movie did well enough for it to get a sequel. I know it did well over in Britain, but I don't think it did that well over here in the States. So, yeah. It didn't look terrible. It was like, but, yeah. That's as far as trailers go. This week, I am not getting we're not getting Disaster Artist until next week. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why. Fuck you. Fuck you, Regal. So, yeah, I'll have Disaster Artist next week. I won't be getting The Shape of the Water. I still haven't got free billboards in Ebbing, Missouri. Out to Ebbing, Missouri. But we are getting Marshall, which came out like 2 months ago, and we're finally getting it. So I'm like, okay. I was like, it's not even like cracked the top 50 in the box office lately. So I'm like, that's very random of a movie to put out. So I'm like, I'll go see that. I haven't seen that yet, so I did want to see that. But until then, I'll talk to you guys later.